Hi, I'm Bogus Red from PaperDemon.com, and today I'm going to share with you the top 5 mistakes artists make when sketching, and how to overcome them. The first is not taking a moment to set your intention. What this means is thinking about what it is you want to capture in your sketch. Some good things to be thinking about, or common goals that you want to achieve with your sketch, are typically things like gesture, proportion, and composition. So thinking about that before you begin to sketch can be really helpful. The second mistake I see artists make is not taking the time to warm up. Usually when you start to draw, you end up being really stiff, and usually we want to have more rhythmic and fluid movement in our drawings. So some steps you can take to combat this are to draw some circles, some spheres, boxes, cylinders, things like that. Just do a few of those, spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes doing that before you begin sketching. This is especially helpful with figure drawing since the basic building blocks of figure drawing, and really any sort of drawing, are going to be using these basic shapes. The third mistake I see artists make is drawing from the wrist. So a lot of artists, especially beginners, tend to, just draw from the wrist like this. And, that really isn't very effective for sketching. Since we're trying to get, the overall composition and the gesture, the wrist is just very inefficient for this. And it'll end up making your drawings very stiff. And it's also related to my next mistake that I see artists do, is spending time on details. Detail is not really, the sketch phase is not really the time to do details. If you are spending too much time on the details, you're going to actually end up having to erase it and redraw it because you haven't spent the time to figure out the proportion of things. You might have your head the head's in the wrong place, or the arm's in the wrong place, or one arm is bigger than the other. And if you're spending time drawing in all the little fingers or eyelashes, you're ending up wasting time and you have to erase things. Or you might end up being lazy and just leaving it like it is. So some tips to help you avoid spending time on detail and helping you to use your to avoid using your wrist. Of course, use your shoulder. So draw from your shoulder when you're using your shoulder. So when you're using your shoulder, you're gonna have much more fluid and rhythmic drawings and less stiff drawings. They're gonna feel much more natural and alive. A few other techniques, use a really thick pencil or charcoal or something like that, especially in the beginning if you're first starting doing figure drawing or doing any live drawing. This is really good to just try it. Try it for a month or so. And you'll really notice some big benefits where you'll start to loosen up and really capture the overall rhythm and gesture of the drawing. And then the last mistake I see artists make is drawing too dark and then having to spend a lot of time erasing. So it's very inefficient to be doing that. And actually, if you're doing figure drawing where things are time-based, you don't have a lot of time. You've got 2 minutes, 5 minutes for each drawing, whatever. And if you're drawing too dark and then having to erase things, you're going to end up wasting time. So there's some really easy techniques for solving that, which is to work light. So just less pressure with your pencil. If that doesn't work for you, if you really have a heavy hand, you can try using a blue pencil for your initial sketch. And then when you're starting to refine that sketch, you can use a darker pencil. If you're working digitally, you can do your initial sketch hard in a layer and then lighten the opacity of it and start on a new layer to do your refinement. So, what mistakes do you think you've been doing from this list? Are there any that are applicable to you, or do you have any tips for overcoming these mistakes? Have you had these in the past? What did you do? How did you solve it? Take a moment to think if there's something here that you learned and you want to take action on, and set a reminder for yourself. Because sometimes we watch these videos and we're like, oh yeah, I should do that, and then we forget and never do it. So take a moment, add it to your calendar or something. So if you like this video, please subscribe, And if you have suggestions or requests for other videos, let me know in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you disagree with me too, like, go ahead. Let's have a conversation about it. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.